Nothing changes until your mind changes. You can change your clothes and still have the old mind. You can change your location and still have the old mind. You can change your house and still have the old mind. Nothing changes until your mind changes. The greatest tragedy in life is not death.
Hello, welcome to the Wireless Church. My name is Chris, and I'm excited to have you on this channel. We're going to be reviewing a lot of Christian content for you from renowned men and women of God who have been so much of a blessing to us. Now, if this is the first time of watching this channel, kindly like, subscribe, and share this link with anybody. Now, let's get to today's excerpts for today. Myles Munroe. Now, so stay put. We're going to watch some short videos, and when we come back, I'll review. Stay tuned. All right, first person we are going with is Dr. Myles. Let's watch a short video of him, and then we'll start reviewing. Let's go.
Change is inevitable. Change is also the principle of life. That means everything that is alive will change. And even things that are not alive will change. You know, a lady came to me. She says, I came to the Bahamas for the last 10 years, and I missed 4 years. And I came here this past month, and everything is different. The airport is new, she said. What happened to the old airport, she says. In other words, even the things not alive are changing. The way the river runs down the mountain is wearing away the mountain. You go back to that mountain 10 years later, and the river is wider. Yes. Change is in creation. It's part of life. So here is the question then. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. It says, to everything there is a season, and to every purpose under heaven there is a time for it.
Wow, so that's Dr. Myles Munroe for you. You see, he's talking about change. We're looking at the subject, how do we deal with change? Now, after the pandemic, a lot of people have been thrown into a lot of stuff and they don't know what to do with their lives. Now, that's a change you were not expecting. You and I were not expecting. We had no clue that there was something like this going to happen, but that's part of change. How do we respond to change? What do we do to change? And we're reading from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, from verse 1 to 2. It says, to everything there is a season, and to everything there is what? There is a purpose for it under the sun. So the season of change happens to every one of us. Things are changing, but what should be our response? What should we do? So we're going to be listening to him and see what clues we can pick. How do we respond to change in circumstances like this? Let's watch.
Time for it. To everything, there's a season. How many things have a season? Everything. This is one of the best news I ever got in my life. When I understood this, I was a teenager, and it changed my life. When I understood that everything is a season, let me tell you why. If you're having a bad time right now, it cannot last. If you cannot find a job right now, that is only a season. If your business is going in the wrong direction, it's a seasonal slide. If nobody wants to marry you, that's only a season. There's going to come a season when everybody want to marry you. You got choices. If you have no money right now, the good news is I am seasonally broke. Tell your neighbor, it's only for a time. That's the good news. And that's why we are always reminded, never make a permanent decision in a temporary problem.
Wow. Never make a permanent decision in a temporary situation. Now, that's a very important thing for you and I to learn. You know, this reminds me a lot about still talking about times and seasons. And many a times I want to ask people in your walk with God, what season are you in? What's your calendar with God? What calendar are you on with God? You know, when you apply to the university and you go to university, they give you a curriculum. They give you a calendar that the school will be following from the beginning of the term to the end of the term. But you ought to know and follow your lecturer and let him teach you what you need to know at what point in time before you write your exams. Now, same for every one of us. We ought to know for ourselves what season we are in And unfortunately, the reason why it's difficult to do sometimes this is people compare themselves with others, and that's wrong because you don't know what season somebody is in. You don't know what time somebody is in. Now, it may be day with somebody and it is night somewhere else. It may be night somewhere else and it's day with somebody. It may be afternoon and it's evening somewhere else. Now, so the times and seasons for everybody is different. So you ought to ask yourself, what time, what season are you in right now? What's your calendar with God right now? Because if you know that for yourself, the Bible says that the sons of Issachar knew the times and seasons. They knew their time and they knew what Israel ought to do. So, question for you is, what season are you in with God? All right, that dream that Pharaoh had and couldn't interpret it and told Joseph about it. See what Joseph did for him. Joseph was able to tell him that that dream meant that there was a season of plenty and there was a season of famine. And I've seen that cycle over the years, and whoever it is on the surface of the earth, you will have to go through that season, a season of plenty and a season of famine. Now, you need to know what season you are in because that changes your approach to life. That changes your approach and the way you handle change in your own world life. So that's important information. You need to factor that in. Take some time and look at your life and ask yourself, what season am I in? What season am I in? Now, let's listen to him as he wraps up this conversation.
Do we sit down and let change just happen to us? Or are we just watching change happening around us? Or are we aware that change is happening within us? Or are we going to be those proactive people who make sure that we affect what happens to us? Change also produces 4 types of people. They are in this room. First of all, there are people who watch things happen. Now, let me say something about change. This is important here. Not all change is improvement. You used to weigh 128. And now you changed. And for some of you, that's not an improvement. You lost your wardrobe. You lost your ability to climb up steps fast. You even lost the quality of health that you had. Change doesn't mean improvement all the time. But the problem is, without change, there can be no improvement. So you have to decide what to do with change. Change will happen. And if you are not careful, it could be destructive. So you have to determine what kind of change do I want in my life. And I want you as a young person, as a mother and a father, as a business person, to think about your company even, or your family, or your educational pursuit. Come with choices.
Wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing change. Change comes with choices. Now, that aspect where he talked about people waiting until change happens to them. See, change can have an issue with you if you are not prepared for it. It can just hit you and it can be very detrimental to you. So instead of letting change hit you, you prepare for change. You prepare for change. He says, whether you're a businessman or you're a young man growing or whoever you are, yes, seasons and times change. But then, are you prepared for the change? How do you prepare? Get yourself some right materials. Read some right books. Listen to the right people. All right? Build some skills. That's what you do to prepare for change. All right? We are in a season right now where there's a lot of soft skills that people need to take their time and begin to learn on their own. Now, you can, on your own, learn stuff on your own. You don't need anybody else to teach you. There's a lot of material online that you can learn yourself from to prepare for change. So for a lot of us, we need to put ourselves in a position where we really prepare for the change by learning by adding up to our own skills. And that is how we prepare for change. So instead of letting change happen to us, we prepare ourselves for change. And with times and season, when the seasons turn in our favor, we take advantage of it. You see, we take advantage of it. So people, there is a time and a season for everything under the earth. No matter what you're going through right now, just like we heard from the man of God, there is a time and a season for everything. It's just temporary. So guess what? Prepare yourself for the change that is about to come. Now, many of you want to prepare for a new job. You want to prepare for your marriage. You want to prepare for a new opportunity that is coming your way. But question, have you prepared yourself for it? Have you read the right materials for the change that is about to take place? I can guarantee you one thing, that change will come. It will come. But are you ready? Have you prepared yourself enough to take advantage of the change? All right? So prepare yourself and be ready for the change that is about to happen in your life. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending time with us here on the Wireless Church. If this is the first time you're watching this video, like I always say, like, subscribe, and share this video with someone. I want to welcome you to our space, our community, where we are learning and growing and developing ourselves together. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you.
Nothing changes until your mind changes. You can change your clothes, still have the whole mind. You can change your location, still have the old mind. You can change your house, still have the old mind. Nothing changes until your mind changes. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. Some people think that when someone dies, that's the worst thing that can happen to you. That's not true. I discovered that the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but it's life without a purpose. It is more tragic to be alive and not know why than to be dead and not know life. Because when you are alive, you got to explain what you're doing with your hours, with your minutes, with your energy, with your talents, with your time. You got to explain, why am I here and what did I do last week with my life? Most people are living as an experiment. I discovered that there are 5 questions that everybody must answer to become successful. I discovered these when I was 15 years old. Write them down. The first question every human must answer to become successful are these questions. And every one of you in this room got to deal with these questions. Question number 1, who am I? It's a tough question. And some of you think you've answered it, but it's not an easy question to answer. Normally when I ask people who you are, they tell me what they do. I didn't ask you what you did. I ask people, who are you? They say, I'm a nurse. I didn't ask you what you did. I want to know, who are you? How do you identify yourself? You shouldn't confuse yourself with your career. Your career is temporary. That means when you lose your job, then you lose your life. Who are you? Second question you must answer is, where am I from? Very important question. It's a tough question. As a matter of fact, humans have been trying to answer these questions for over 2,000-3,000 years. Today, they have been even attempting to say that you are from monkeys. They talk about evolution. They talk about man starting as a slime that became a salamander, that became a can and cannot do. Even living in this city, this town right here, could be your greatest curse. Because there are certain things they don't expect you to do in this town. They tell you how far you can go, what you cannot do, what's never been done, and you better don't upset the boat, and don't achieve that here, and you can't do that here. They muffle your true ability. What can you do is the question. And the fifth question, write it down, everyone must answer, is where am I going? This one has to do with your destiny. Where are you going in your life? Where will you be in the next 10 years? What do you see for the next 50 years of your life? What do you want to do with yourself in the next 40 years? What do you see in your life as your future destiny? What's your hope to become and to do in your life? Or are you simply waiting for the next paycheck? Is your life as short as the next bill you pay? Is there a sense of destiny in your life? God sent me here to talk to you, to let you know that you are not just here as a passing fantasy. You came to this planet because something that you need to do is still undone. You were created to live life with meaning and purpose. You are not a mistake. As a matter of fact, until you discover your personal reason for living, you will never be fulfilled. You were born, sir, to do something important in this world. That's why I am convinced that all of us were created for a purpose, equipped with potential, and designed for a destiny. I am convinced that you are loaded with stuff that we haven't seen yet, and is trapped under your fear of people. Matter of fact, some of your greatest graveyards are your job. Nothing can bury you faster than a career that you're trapped in. You were born to do something that the world needs, and that's why until you discover your purpose, you can never maximize your potential. Your purpose, madam, is the most important thing for you to discover. Because when you find your purpose, you automatically find your potential. And when you find your purpose and potential, you become unstoppable. No human opinion can touch you when you discover your purpose in life.
There are many more of such content coming your way. Stick with me as I bring you more on such episodes. Thank you so much.